Hi, my name's Declan, and I did a sports complex in Simpang, Singapore. So my main idea is to just really make a all-inclusive sports complex in Singapore. Their culture is really into sports, and they're a growing city, and so they have multiple sports complexes or facilities around the city. But as the city is growing, there's larger residential spaces being put up, and they are not as close to a sports complex in their area. So they'd have to travel quite a distance to get to the nearest one. So for this new large residential areas that they're building, I wanted to give them a closer complex to use. So my main inspiration, I was looking around different facilities around the world, and I found a couple. This one in particular on the end here is kind of what I was going for. Just really compact campus that was sustainable and really interactive. And then at the bottom here, you can kind of see my evolution, which was I started with one form, using the idea of having a form that kind of rose and came down as well to be active, but also to represent sports and how you'll grow in the sport, you'll succeed in games and things like that. But then you also have hardships, so your team might not do as well, so then you come back down. Just kind of like in your stats or something like that, just so that you do well and then you don't do well, and you're always growing and you're progressing. So then there's just that up and down kind of feel, but then also just a form that's active, that represents sports. And I used verbs like branch, expand, grade, and reflect to kind of morph my form. So I started with this one, and then I branched off and made other ones as well. Here's my site plan. I have 4 buildings on my site. The first one, when you enter the site here, is the soccer facility. They call it football. I'll say soccer because we're here. Then right across is the basketball facility. Then I have the swimming facility. And then this facility has badminton and volleyball. I have outdoor spaces and indoor spaces for these sports. These are the main sports that are in Singapore. So there's the football or soccer, basketball, swimming, badminton, and volleyball are the main ones. And this is all a private space. So like, you'll have to pay to use these spaces. These are recreational. This side is recreational. These has a couple other sports. They have cricket and rugby. Then also the volleyball, badminton, and basketball is here. And then there's an enclosed swimming there. Since swimming has a lot more maintenance, it's not as free to the public, so you will have to have a small membership or pay to use that. But this swimming pool area here is more competitive. It's not as recreational. Move on to my floor plans. Since I don't have the time to show you every building, I'm just going to show you the soccer facility. So we have the main entrance to here, and then it goes into this lounge space. So in between games, players and their families can come and just sit around in the lounge and kind of wait. They don't have to go off the campus because a lot of facilities I've been to, because I play soccer, a lot of facilities don't have a place like this where you can just wait in between each games. So I wanted a place that has that. Then it kind of leads into here where there's kids fields. These fields are much smaller than a full-size field. This is a walled-in field, so this is a field where you can play off the walls. there is no real out of bounds unless it goes over the wall, which there's a net to catch that so balls aren't flying everywhere. And then it leads down into here, the lower field, which this field is set down in the ground. And I did this because in some of my research I found that this helps with people having to climb up into stands, and it allows for more views. There's even views from outside. I have a huge glass window here to allow people outside the site to even peer in and watch the game as well. And then the second floor and the lower field just kind of shows the locker rooms and the field that's there. On the second floor, there's a cafeteria. So in my experience in going to facilities like this, you have to travel off the site and go find a restaurant in between games. Like sometimes you're in a tournament and there's multiple games you have to be at, so the lounge helps with waiting in those areas, and then if you're hungry, then you go to the cafeteria, which is upstairs. Here's a diagram kind of showing those spaces again, like I explained at the beginning, just the different facilities and what is included with that. Then I have some other diagrams just showing how the HVAC works, different lighting systems I'm using, and here's a sustainable diagram showing that I'm using artificial turf instead of actual grass, because artificial turf can be recycled, and as it wears down, you can just swap it out with the new one and recycle that material. Here's the elevations in a section, just showing my form a little bit and the indoor spaces. Here's a facade diagram showcasing that I'm using this wood slat wall. I'm using iRise liquid crystal smart glass windows, which sends in those windows, it's hooked up to a electric current, and that can change the orientation of the crystals, and that will change how much light is able to pass through that window. Then I obviously have green roofs and an exterior lime plaster, which is commonly used in cinder board. Here's a wall section, just pointing out the different things in my building and how it's made. Here's the sustainable strategies, just showing all the different uses that this green roof will have, and some other things as well. Here's the main entrance to my building.
2 minutes.
And here's if you're up in the cafeteria, it overlooks. There's an area where it can overlook kind of everything. So this is that walled-in field, and then you can also look past and see that lower field as well. Here's the cafeteria space as well. And from here, you can see out to the other fields that are in the back. Those are the outdoor fields. Here's my basketball facility, and one of the main courts in that facility. The swimming facility and all the different pools on the side. And here's the indoor pool. And then volleyball and badminton courts. They have lower courts as well. And volleyball courts here. Volleyball courts are the only ones I didn't have a lower field, lower level for. That just fit best with the flow of things. And here's just the overall site view, and then night render as well.
Got 1 minute.
And here's my poster.
Thank you, Declan.
I don't know if you ever seen the game, but it's like a troll video. My animation got corrupted, so I wasn't able to upload it. So I just put this on instead.
Yo.